Welcome to Homework Lib.
To determine if there's a significant difference in the average number of words recalled between the two groups that slept and the group that ingested caffeine, we can perform a hypothesis test for the difference in the means. So, first, we know that the mean from the sleep group was 15.25 and the mean from the second group was 12.25. That's the caffeine group. We do want to calculate their standard deviations as well, and I can just run those into a calculator quickly. For the sleep group, that's 3.306, and for the caffeine group, that is 3.545. Now, the null hypothesis is that the two means are the same, and the alternative is that they are different. So we'll use a two-sample t-test assuming unequal variances. That's Welch's t-test, since the variances are not assumed to be equal. And the test statistic is calculated as the difference of the means over the square root of the standard deviation from the first sample squared over its sample size, plus the standard deviation from the second sample squared over its sample size. And this calculates to 2.144. And the degrees of freedom is the standard deviation from the first sample squared over its sample size plus the standard deviation from the second sample squared over its sample size. We square that sum over the standard deviation squared over the sample size squared over the degrees of freedom plus the standard deviation squared over the sample size squared over its degrees of freedom. And that's about 22 degrees of freedom. And that is a critical T of 2.704. Oh, 074, excuse me. And since our test statistic is 2.144, it is more extreme, that is greater, so we would reject the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that there's a significant difference in the average number of words recalled between the group that slept and the group that ingested caffeine.